answer some of your questions. Over the last several days, the city of Pocatello has been inundated with people from around the nation voicing their displeasure about a video showing the subject filming the Federal Bureau of Investigation's facility and the subject's arrest. This occurred on June 12th, 2017. The subject was not charged with public voyeurism or any other crime in regards to filming of the facility. The officer misspoke in saying public voyeurism, and as such, no charges along those lines have been filed against the individual. However, the individual has been charged with resisting and obstructing officers under Idaho Code 18705. After reviewing the police report as well as a video, the City of Pocatello Legal Department will be pursuing resisting and obstructing officer charges against the individual on the video. While officers have been trained on photography in public, we will be taking an opportunity to refresh ourselves on this issue. All officers will receive a copy of an informational bulletin from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that outlines the rights of citizens to photograph the exterior of federally owned or leased facilities. Officers have a duty to protect the citizens of our community. This includes investigating activity that is reported by citizens as suspicious to ascertain whether the behavior or activity is truly suspicious or not, or involved in some type of criminal misconduct. We will continue to diligently investigate these circumstances and reports from all of our citizens. So, with that statement, I'll take any of your questions.
Once again, if you don't mind just addressing why it was voyeurism that was mentioned as the charge.
He misspoke.
Thank you.
Does he not know the rule? Did he not know the rules about videotaping in public or in public place?
I don't know if he knew that or not. That wasn't, we didn't make an arrest for that.
Right. But that's what he kept saying. Why did he keep saying that?
Why did he keep saying what?
Public voyeurism.
I think he said it once, right? Maybe twice. I haven't seen the whole video, but it's not like he said it several times. He misspoke.
What sort of training does the department have in dealing with these sorts of issues, or even officers properly, I guess, addressing the types of charges that they could be bringing against somebody?
As far as people filming buildings?
Yeah, and
we have dealt with that for probably the last 2 years. This is not the first time it's occurred. It's occurred several times, including our own building and federal courthouse and places like that. Officers on the street, they're very aware of those types of situations. They're recorded every day. They know that they're being recorded, and for the most part, we record ourselves on most of the calls that we take. So,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Was the suspect actually taken to jail that day, did you say?
He was.
Booked in and then just bonded out that day?
I don't know. He was taken to jail for resisting. Yes, and obstructing.
If someone is asked to give their ID, are they required to give an ID when an officer asks for it?
Depends on what the circumstances are.
In this situation?
Yes, in this situation, we believe so. I mean, from the reports that we've read, he needed to produce identification when asked.
Was there any safety risk to filming the FBI building? Was the FBI concerned that there might have been something sketchy, and then they...
We have received calls in the past from the FBI. This call did not come from the FBI center. It came from a concerned citizen that had saw the subject in the area. That's why the officers responded there.
For the resisting and obstruction justice charge, wouldn't he need to be obstructing some sort of an investigation? And if that's the case, can you talk about what type of investigation was going on at the time?
Well, it was a suspicious activity is why we were there. There were other circumstances that came up in regards to that contact that ended up resulting in the charges of resist and obstruct.
This is the second time that this has kind of happened in your guys' police department in the last couple of weeks. Do you think people are just trying to target you guys now to see if they can rile you guys up or anything like that? Do you feel targeted by these people?
I don't know. You know what? I think we have a great relationship with our community. There are certainly people out there that don't like the police at all, no matter where you're at. And so they're gonna look at these things, and maybe they'll do it to rile us up. Have we made mistakes? Yeah, we make them every day. I make them every day. Believe me, I make mistakes every day. We learn from them and we move on.
The police department's Facebook page was taken down on Saturday. Can you comment on that and why?
I can't. At this point, I can't, because the person that's in charge of that is not at work today. I will look into that and find out what happened. I would love to answer your question. I just don't have the correct answer, and I don't have all the facts. And that's kind of why it's taken us to this point with giving you guys any information. Truly what I want to do is find out what's going on. I learned about this on Saturday, I think, when I first heard about it. You know, news media outlets, people want comments. I'm not making a comment on things that I don't know about. I want to be able to look into it and have factual information instead of just making a comment or putting out a story. So,
A lot of people have been angry about this on both sides.
Sure.
For him, against him, whatever it may be. What do you want to say to everybody that's been commenting on this and what you guys are trying to do to make
well, you know, I guess the big thing here is people are talking about the Constitution and what that affords them. So you have freedom of speech. We know that people are going to be able to say what they want. And, you know, we look at those comments and we try to learn from them. A lot of them are not very nice. You don't learn much from some of those. Sometimes they're concerns voice that you look at and go, you know, that's something that maybe I didn't think of, and we ought to look at that. You know, some of it is just, I don't know. I mean, we've received several comments, many phone calls. So, but again, people don't have the whole story.
Can you tell us who the officer was?
No.
That was involved? Did you speak to him? Well, obviously you have. What did
Did
he
I?
say? Yeah. Well, what did he say about it? What's his side of the story?
He said he misspoke. So,
He knows that you can film a public building when you're on a sidewalk.
he does. And I guess you can go back to that 5 or 6 more times. The subject was not charged with that. There was not a charge in regards to filming anything. So.
If there wasn't a charge for him filming anything, what was the officer, doing at the time? I mean, is he making contact with an individual? I guess I'm confused with, if he's not charged with public voyeurism, how he obstructed or caused problems with the officer's investigation if he was not out there investigating public voyeurism.
We were sent there. A citizen called and reported suspicious activity, described the suspect or a person and where that person was. We responded to that call. And from there, if you watch the video, certain things happen there.
So I know that you were saying that he misspoke, but can you kind of go through with us the process in which, first of all, police department gets a call about something and they go out to check it out, and then how do they go about determining what sort of charges, or do they have a system? Do they communicate with other officers?
I guess not everything not every call or suspicious call that we go on results in a crime or someone being charged. But I guess there's a couple ways you can look at it. And either way you look at it, we're not gonna win, okay? So we'll take the picture of somebody calls and says they're filming the FBI building, okay? Is that against the law? No. But somebody thought whatever was going on there with that was suspicious, so they called us. So do we say, because he's filming that, it's not against the law, we're not sending an officer, and something else happens, right? Something, whatever, it didn't happen here, I'm just, hypothetically, this person goes across the street and does something, or something happens, and we don't respond, and we now have a person saying, hey, I called and said this person was acting suspicious and you didn't go, right? We're gonna respond to those. Our officers owe it to the community to check on these situations, so we are going to respond to them. We're gonna find out what's going on. Okay? They roll up, this guy says, here's what I'm doing, I'm filming the building, I have a right to do that, this is who I am, this is what's going on, nothing else is going on, they probably walk away from there. It didn't work out that way this time.
So if the officer misspoke and he wasn't investigating, public voyeurism, but rather a suspicious call, what is the individual being charged for resisting and obstructing for? Why would he have to provide his identification if he wasn't being investigated for a crime?
Because some of the circumstances that went on there, this thing has not been adjudicated, so truly at this point, I can't lay the whole case out to you. As easy as it would be, probably make my life a little bit easier, but I can't do that at this point.
Is public voyeurism a crime?
No.
Okay.
So what's next now as far as, do your officers now go through, I guess, pardon me for not knowing the official terminology here, but I guess a refresher course, so to speak?
Sure, the bulletin will go out to all our sworn officers. I mean, we learn from things every day, I guess, and certain things you don't think about, and then it comes around and something like this happens, and you look at it and go, you know what, maybe we better refresh everybody in regards to this. Believe me, I think everybody in this building knows about this right now, so try to do the right things, try to get all the right information out. There's a lot of information that goes.
So I know he said he misspoke as far as voyeurism charge, or voyeurism goes, but what was he intending to say? What did he think?
I think what he was saying is this is why I'm here. Somebody called and said you're filming
Okay.
this building and acting suspicious.
Now, I know we've had multiple run-ins of similar circumstances like this in the last couple of weeks. Have you, this case was with a different individual than the previous situation that we've dealt with. Have you dealt with this individual in the past, this particular person?
I don't. This person?
Correct.
Have I dealt with him?
Has the Pocatello police ran into this individual or had instances like this with the same person before?
I can't say for sure. I'm going to say I think so, but I didn't look at any of that. I know that in the video he says, you know who I am, or your department knows. The officer did not know him.
Okay.
Do you believe your officer responded like he should have, despite misspeaking? Do you think, is that the proper protocol he's supposed to go through in that situation?
Well, I think there's several ways any call can be handled. Okay, so I guess the first thing I'm going to tell you is it's awful simple for me and everybody else to sit back and armchair quarterback, and it happens every day. Officers, when you're not standing there, I have stood there. And I have had to make those types of decisions on information that I have. He did what he thought was right at the time. He made a decision, and he was able to articulate what he did in a report. And so, yeah, I think he handled it all right. Could he have done it differently? Maybe. But with what he knew at the time, and I think he articulated it fine for. No, I guess I'm not hanging my hat on it. I'm having legal look at it. I've had a lot of people look at it, and so.
So you guys still investigating? Well, what are you guys doing right now, I guess?
Investigating this?
Yeah, this case, is this a shut case? What is
Well, it's going to go to court, so I don't think there's a lot of investigation to be done on our side. It just ends up being a court case that we'll take care of. Good enough? Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to say anything, Ian?
Nope, I'm good. Knocks off.
Yeah, who's this right here? This is Ian Nelson?
Johnson.
Johnson?
Yep.
Ian Johnson? Okay, just for my cut line on the photo.
Alright, we're ready to go for you.
Because I couldn't really
Yep.
get one without
Yep.
you in it.
All right.